هلو، قبل ما يبدأ الفيديو بس حبيت أقول لكم على السريع حق اللي يبون ترجمة. حطيت ترجمة على اليوتيوب نفسه، يعني ما بيكون في ترجمة في الفيديو. اضغطوا على هاي الزر وتطلع لكم الترجمة. اوكي، السلام عليكم. هاي اللعبة اسمها ستانلي بارابيل. نسيت الاسم اوريدي، نسيت. اصبروا خل اطلع على النت. ايش اسمها؟ ستانلي بارابيل. ايه، ما ادري اصلا اقولها عدل ولا لا. المهم، ايه، واحذركم في تحذير، هاي المايك اللي انا الحين قاعدة استعمله كاتشرة اكثر من مايك السوني. فاذا صرخت ولا ضحكت بصوت عالي يصير له بيك بيصب اذنكم يعني. فحذرتكم، ما لي خص اذا صميت اذنكم. اوكي، begin the game.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
ايه،
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
ما في
Employee
subtitle.
number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how
اسهل
long
شغل
to
في
push
العالم.
them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
هاي مو كان شغله يعني شي
And then one day, something very peculiar happened.
غرفة
Something that
بروحها.
would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
اوكي، هاي انا قاعدة اتحرك. قمة الملل والكآبة، هالمكان الخايس، ظلام، الشغل بعد خايس. شنو ذي؟ يعني هو يقعد يضغط الكمبيوتر، يقول له اي شو اسمه زر يضغط. زين.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
اذا ممكن اسولف، كل ما يبي اقول شيء يسولف. ما يخليني اتكلم. نسيت الحين ايش كنت بقول. اوكي، الكل مختفي
Stanley
يعني.
went around touching every little thing in the... Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly
قاعدة
5
أسوي سبام.
clicks. Now suppose you were to
إذا لا
click the door
تقفل
20
البيبان عشان
I would
أدش.
say that's the kind of
قاعد
effort that
يهاوش
warrants
بعد.
recognition.
اوكي. وي، قفلت على نفسي. افتحوا. يقول لي لازم اروح الميتينج روم. شو اسمه؟ غرفة الاجتماع، ما ادري التجمع، ما ادري شنو. وانا ما اعرف وينها. على الاقل عطني شو اسمه سهم شيء وين اروح. خليني احوس جي ضايعة، انا ما اعرف. الحين
When Stanley came
سكتها.
to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
ها؟ ايش صار؟ توني جيت من هناك. ليش كل شيء اختفى؟ وات؟ يمين ولا يسار؟ اصبروا. عمي ابو كرش. لين 11 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 يسار. اوكي، ما في شيء داخل، ما في حد.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
هاي الميتنج روم. زين ليش ظلام؟ عشان البروجيكتور. صح صح صح، عشان يكون اوضح. اوكي مقبول. هالغرفة مقبولة تكون ظلام عادي، مو بمشكلة. شو الحين ما يخليني ارجع، يقفل علي البيبان.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
متأكد انه nothing here ولا تقص علي؟ او ما يخليني انقز، اضغط سبيس.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
لانك قلت شي الحين خلتني اشكره في شيء.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is,
نفس اللي في الافلام هاي اللي يحطون مكتب. اسكت قاعدة اسولف مع الناس. نفس هاي اللي في الافلام اللي يدخلون مكتبة ولا غرفة. اسكت.
Why? Please offer me some explanation, choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
يقول لي upstairs؟ عناد لانك تخرب علي وما تخليني اسولف، بروح downstairs. انجلع. كأني بديت اخاف. ترى مو برعب عادي.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation.
What the fuck?
His co-workers weren't actually wrong. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float off the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice... He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job, All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
إيش قصدك؟ قاعد تحاول
I
تشككني في
am
نفسي؟
okay.
إيه أكيد أنا أوكي. أوكي ما في شيء يتغير.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I'm real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
ستانلي في عينك. أوه.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
الحين
Mariella woke
تغيرت
up on a day like
الشخصية.
any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day,
عن مرة
her walk
اسمها
was
مدري
interrupted
وشو.
by the
خلنا
body
نسميها
of a
مريم.
man who had
اسمها
stumbled
مريم.
through town talking and screaming to himself, and
مريالة.
then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go
دام
call for an
يضطريها
ambulance,
الحين
for
تغيرت
just a few
شخصيتنا. شوفوا عدنا من البداية. لحين لكن رحت الدري
all of his
تحت.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
مت أو عدت اللعبة لأني ما سمعت كلامه. قال لي لازم أروح فوق الدري اللي فوق.
When
أنا رحت
Stanley
الدري
came to
اللي
a set of
تحت.
2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
إذا شوفوا قال قال door to his left. أوكي شكم أسوي العكس الحين عند الباب. أنا من ساعة ما أدري إذا قال الدور يعني حق صوب اليسار باب اليسار ولا باب اليمين، ما سمعته يمكن لأني كنت أسولف، فبالصدفة رحت يسار نفس ما قال. فالحين خلينا نجرب نروح يمين نسوي العكس.
This was just to admire
إيه.
it.
الله.
Yes, truly a
والله
room
المكان
worth
حلو،
admiring. It had really been
حركات،
worth the detour
كشخة.
after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking
يمديني
it all in.
أدنع. ممكن يمديني أنقز، ما يمديني أنقز الحين. ممكن تعطوني مشروب؟
Yes, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
إيه. نكمل سيدة.
Stanley was so bad at following
نشتغل
directions,
في
it's
مصنع
incredible he
إحنا.
wasn't fired years ago.
ولا شنو ذي؟ كل اللي يقول لنا الريال بنسوي عكس، بنعاند. يقول لنا نروح تحت بنروح فوق. يقول لنا روحوا يسار
Look,
بنروح
Stanley,
يمين.
I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust
من
in
أنت
someone
عشان
else
تقول
can
لي
be
أنا
difficult,
أصير
but
أنمي؟
the fact
كيفي
is
أنا
that the
بخليك
story
ماي
has
أنمي.
been about nothing but you all this time.
قاعد تعاند معاي، قاعد تقول لي الشيء ما أسمع كلام حد، أنا أسمع كلام نفسي.
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me,
والديسيجن شنو أصلا؟
I'm asking for her.
من حق الإنسان يكون الديسيجن حق نفسه. أنت إيش عليك تتحكم فيني يعني؟
Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
شكم نرجع. طلعوني. اوكي يمدينا نرجع. رجعوني. خلاص خفت، يوم شفت الظلام خفت. الو، يمديني اطب تحت ولا بموت.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control.
اوكي اكتشفنا ان في فول دامج.
He entered the door on his left.
القم بروح
This
يمين.
was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by
They
the
do to
employee
his
lounge
left.
first, just to admit.
بروح غرفة الظلام عادي.
Stanley
ما
was so
أخاف.
bad at
قال لكم
following
ما أخاف.
directions, it's incredible
أنتوا
he wasn't
تخافون.
fired years ago. I'm asking for her.
For her من her.
This is it, Stanley.
مريوم.
Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in an...
ايه الو.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to
لا
keep you waiting.
مو بستانلي
I'm just
انا
pulling the bread out of
نوبتي.
the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha!
What the
Oh,
fuck?
come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you?
زوجته
I'm trying to
ذي
make a point here,
يعني.
Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see
عفا
something.
عليك هاي ذوقك.
Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
عفا ستانلي
This
هاي
is a very
ذوقك.
sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
اوكي فضل البيض يعني يا العنصري. عندي اسم ليش تسموني امبلويي 427؟ عندي اسم يا اخي. بريس بيوني اوكي.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
بريس اتش. بضغط تي. او ما يخليني. بريس جي. بضغط اتش. بضغط في. بضغط بي تي ار واي. ما يخليني.
But in his mind, in his
غصب
mind, he can go on
جي.
fantastic adventures.
بريس 5 to prepare dinner.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations.
غير.
Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And
3 to tell your wife you love her.
But there is no answer.
عليك.
How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is put Stanley. The next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
اوكي. يلا زين عبالك بسمع
just not
كلامك.
hear me?
من انت عشان
How
اسمع
can I tell him in
كلامك؟
a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
رجعت البداية. لا طلعوني. ما في.
And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button.
أوه،
And I
خلاص
tried again,
اسفة.
and Stanley pushed a button.
اسفة اسمع الكلام لا تذبحوني. عادت عليكم وعلى شكلكم. احنا هاي 3 مرة اموت. خلاص هالمرة صدق بسمع الكلام. زين شوفوا صار لي تقريبا ساعة العب اللعبة. فبوقف الحين وبنام بعد لان الحين نص الليل تقريبا الساعة 12. فبوقف وبسوي جزء ثاني. اذا عجبتكم قولوا لي في التعليقات بكملها يعني بخلصها لكم.